My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival.
I'm sorry, did the 5 minutes not start until you changed clothing, or were those the 5 minutes?
It's a costume. It's like it's like in the Yakuza game. He just threw them off. Easy.
Oh my god.
To that I say,
Lady, this is the Old Bailey. One does not make a cat flaps in the oak paneling of the Old Bailey.
I just did.
Well, shit, you got me there.
and there's no way you can prove that it was.
No? But it's easy.
I don't like that laugh.
Stereoscopic guy. Would you like to look at these prints again?
Stereoscope dude is about to ruin this man's whole career.
Hello, everybody. KVTV Under the Sun, and we're back with the 5th case of the Grey Ace Attorney. So we discover Graydon has gotten his information somewhere and from someone. And at the moment, the only person we can suspect is Gregson.
No, it was Windy Bank.
But he's dead.
That's exactly how they want you to think it. Is the Woody Bank is actually involved in
That's
this
what makes
elaborate scheme. He's actually the Russian guy right now.
No, you're thinking about it too simply. See, he's already got killed. That means he already got away with it. It's the perfect crime.
Dude, you're right.
The truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson.
Or should we say Windy Bank in disguise?
Dun dun dun!
Actually, most likely the best twist would have been like the third Skulkin brother.
Yeah, about that.
Me? Objection! You had better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my learned friend.
Yeah, what he said.
Consider the fact that we have only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learned of it only during the course of the trial today.
Indeed. Preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during an hour-long recess.
Also, we've learned literally everything today. This trial's been only going on for one day.
While the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from the communications station.
And until that time, Mr. Graydon would have had no idea, no inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court.
Are you suggesting that until such a time as he was summoned?
Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume he knew nothing of the peephole. It was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position, that he would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder.
You're suggesting to the court that it was while this trial was in progress that he received the information so that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin?
Exactly. And the only person with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with is you, Inspector Gregson.
This is a blue outrage. Why would I be giving away details of an investigation to this fella, eh? I would someone to his lordship Seamus during the recess in any case. Have you forgotten that?
Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery.
Which means the first time these two laid eyes on one another was after the proceedings resumed following the recess. Since then, they've been in full view in the stand, where such illicit discussions couldn't possibly have occurred.
But they did.
Oh, I just remembered something, Runo.
What is it, Iris?
There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Jenny was testifying.
Oh, yes, now you mention it. When the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve McGilda's music box from the scene of the crime. That's it. It was during that testimony. I remember finding it strange at the time. Mr. Graydon and the inspector seemed to be having some kind of secret discussion.
Oh, you can't have my fish and chips, they're mine.
Look, I'm hungry. I didn't eat lunch, okay?
That's your problem, not mine, Sunshine.
Look, I'll let you wear the hat for a few days, okay?
I don't want the freaking hat that is all my fish and chips.
Look, you son of a bitch. Just let me wear the... Let me just... You know what? Screw you then. Screw you.
Gentlemen,
It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Graydon the information he needed then.
You're a toad egg! You're making this all up! I'm respected Scotland Yard inspector for crying out loud. Why would you do something like that? Why are we giving away confidential details to this likes of this bloke?
Did he bribe you? Admittedly, you wouldn't have any reason to do something like that for no gain. But perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind. Then it starts to make more sense.
what deal, Council?
I wonder if perhaps, in exchange for details about the people at the crime scene, Mr. Graydon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector. Ah, okay.
Shall I need not remind the inspector that, if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind with a witness
It's pretty much what happens in every court, so I don't know what you're talking about, Judge.
well, shit, would be considered a gross case of whatever that is.
Malfeasance. Malfeasance.
Malfeasance.
That's a new word for me, too.
Wait, I don't know what that word is, actually.
It's becoming clear that jumping in with accusations is this Nipponese student's specialty.
I mean, so is it yours?
I don't do that.
But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim.
Evidence?
Yes, you know that thing this entire court is built on. Just what are you proposing that the inspector demanded of the witness in return? The court must see proof of this alleged deal.
Okay, what is Gregson's after, and what does Graydon have? Why did Graydon... Yeah, if Inspector Gregson really did strike a deal with Mr. Graydon, then logically there's only one thing he could have asked for. That must be it.
Yeah, not this disc, that disc.
Runa, do you think it could be?
Yes, it's the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle.
I must press you for an answer now, Counsel. What evidence explains the nature of this alleged deal Inspector Gregson made with the witness?
Well, we don't actually have it, but we could probably present it. It would still count. This one.
Present the disc or
Yeah.
present the underside of the music box?
Well, I don't want to answer that. What do you guys think?
Let's just present the disc.
Yeah, let's just go with the disc.
Oh,
Alright,
yeah.
that's 2 votes for disc.
It's like, I could, but then I already have the answer, so that would be counterproductive. Inspector Gregson! Besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another very important case?
What are you getting at now, Sunshine?
Is it possible that this other top-secret case is what alluded it to in this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice. We discovered during the course of this trial the music box deposited at Windy Banks by Magnus McGilded. A special music box designed to play 2 discs at once. It would seem very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in McGilded's possession are the leaked classified secrets. So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Mr. Graydon in which to exchange the disc for details of the case.
You little...
Hell, I love this soundtrack.
By the way.
I love this soundtrack.
Order! Order!
Oh, duh.
On the day of the incident, when we met you at Windybanks, you said this.
I'm gonna take it. What? Your memory's pretty bad, Mr. Nadahodo.
What?
I'm gonna take it that whatever it is, I'm gonna get us down to the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over.
Don't get to him. It's mine, that is. Mine.
I'm sorry, miss. But anything but on to McGill has been taken as the evidence now.
Scotland Yard already knew at that time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGilded was involved in the stealing of government secrets.
My orders were recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry. And do it on the QT. Strictly hush-hush.
QT?
Yeah, the QT.
That explains why, when I presented this disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information.
I mean, not likely. I mean, I wasn't sure of it myself. I realized there was a possibility, that's all. Inspector, surely. You're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you did indeed reveal the confidential details of the crime scene to the witness? To aid and abet this man in giving false testimony?
There's no other way that Mr. Graydon could have known of the existence of the peephole. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men.
No!
No!
Objection! If, and I stress if, this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth, it would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very courtroom.
Wait, what? In this room? Yeah, yes, Ryunosuke, if you're making this claim, yes. How could you possibly... Rio, you just... Okay, whatever. I'm not even gonna read that. I'm just like, what even?
Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective.
What?
Did you forget that? What's that supposed to mean, eh?
Oh, I thought you were just a fish and chips guy.
What the? why would I ask for the disc from this man in the first place?
As a seasoned policeman, the inspector will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand.
Good gracious, then, you mean to say Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession? He has the second disc actually on his person?
Gregson just looks so done.
Yes!
Oh, that was good. The defense demands that the inspector is searched at once.
Definitely. They could only have struck a deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before. And Gregsy hasn't moved from the witness stand since.
My lord, please, order an examination of his personal effects immediately.
Well, Inspector. This young lad wants to tone down his imagination. He's insulted me and my profession quite enough. However, if it put this matter to bed and dispel any doubts about my involvement, then I'll happily be submitted to a body shot.
Did we forget the fact that he was summoned to... That he has left since then?
No, he hasn't left.
I thought he was
left.
summoned to Strongheart.
That was in the intermission. That was before we saw Graydon.
Oh, okay.
that was before we learned more about what Graydon was up to. Like that was during the recess. So now he's been sitting at the stand this entire time. We didn't really know Graydon's involvement until like around like a little later on, so.
Yo, this case is very long. I'm forgetting like half the case.
Okay, let's put it. I'll put it.
He was standing at the stand. There's no chairs there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'll just simplify it. He hasn't moved from his spot. The game has already told you that he has not moved anywhere. He has been on the witness stand this entire time.
Okay.
What? He's going to agree to it?
I mean, I guess they have Ringo's box, but he's kind of using it right now.
I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you now teeter, my learned student friend? You've made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service. This trial will end. And my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded.
Well, that sounds serious.
That's because it is. Indeed, to have a visiting student make such a defamatory remarks about our country's most senior police force is not something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook.
You're just threatening Runa because you're scared.
You tell him, Iris.
The accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences.
It's true. I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. The disc must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it. But somehow, something doesn't feel quite right here.
Very well, Counsel. You know the implications, so let me ask you one final time.
Yes, my lord.
Do you still persist in formally requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects?
Well, I like to say Gregson's a little too comfortable about being searched, especially every time the disc comes up, he gets really anxious, so...
Okay, so I would go with the middle option. The question is, who do we search?
Any other opinions from the gallery?
He's too comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Unless he is one hell of a good bluff.
Considering he was panicking every time the disc was brought up, I'm going to say probably not.
Yeah, and good bluffs in Ace Attorney. Those are hard to come by.
His name is not Phoenix Wright, so obviously.
Would Graydon still have it? He hasn't left either.
So you think they did another switch at some point?
Well, we don't necessarily have evidence that they even did the first switch. We are all assuming because he's a Scotland Yard detective.
And would Graydon even trust that kind of deal? Like, here's the disc. Okay, this asshole did it. Wait, what?
Here's the thing. We have to go with that assumption because at the end of the day, Graydon still got that information, and this is the only assumption we can go with. Some sort of bribery did happen.
Yeah.
So we can at least assume that because how else is Graydon going to get that information? The question is, did Gregson do the trade one more time at any point?
I could see him passing it off to one of the Skulkin brothers and them not knowing about it.
All right, the Skulkins were up there the whole most of the time too. So, okay, I think we're all in agreement that he.
Or it's on Gina because Gina was up there when they were having that discussion in the first place.
Oh, true. I think we're all in agreement that he probably doesn't have it. We just haven't narrowed down who he might have given it to. Is that the consensus at least?
Pull up the people.
Like, the Skulkins and Gina are pretty much the only two other people he could have passed it off to. Besides Graydon, obviously.
Have we had any opportunities where he's...
Yes. I'm going to tell you yes, and I'm not going to tell you when, but yes.
I'm trying to remember, but God, it's been...
A week, I know.
Wait, what if Sholmes has it?
I mean,
He technically was at the stands.
he was.
Didn't he bring the box?
He brought
He
the
did bring the book. Oh, no, he brought the other thing.
cat
No, but-
flapple map.
Yeah,
and
but he was also
infinite
the
evidence.
he was also the bailiff for a while. Like, did he just announce things or did he bring something?
He announced.
Wait, was he the bailiff the entire time?
No, I think he just snuck in
Okay.
as a bailiff to present. He only came in to give the report on the cloth, and then he gave us the cat flapple mat at the defense, and that was it. And then he fainted.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
But this is Sholmes we're talking about. He could have just,
True. Okay,
I'm trying
but
to remember like other instances of like, because we have like an instance of him talking to Graydon. Like we saw that happen.
we saw
just trying to
something
think-
else happen, but I think it was one of those like one-off things. You probably didn't realize it was something.
So
Yeah, I also
think
just don't remember because
the best course of action is go with the answer we want to see and see where the dialogue takes us, and then we can hopefully piece things together from there.
yeah, I mean it's search someone else. We just don't know who.
Yeah. All right, we'll go with that for now. Yes, the defense formally demands the search be conducted.
Well,
Don't say you weren't warned. But your typical Nipponese stubbornness may well land you in hot water this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good.
fair enough. I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah, he's way too calm about this.
Very well then. Bailiff, conduct a search of the inspector's personal...
Hold on. Oh, baby slaps her back! The defense demands a search, but not on Inspector Gregson.
What?
Now what's on this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me.
No, Inspector, not you. Somebody else.
It's me and all this, eh? Lost in the last have you, sunshine? The court shouldn't have to put up with all this nonsense. You've been completely irrational.
I don't know who's talking.
Graydon?
Be
Gina?
quiet, all of you.
I don't know who's talking. Oh, that was Iris?
Oh, damn, Iris, your impression of Graydon is impeccable.
Thank you. Ryuno's doing what you all told him to do and having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because that's the British way.
Damn, this 10-year-old telling the whole court what to do. Let's go.
Thanks, Sam Eagle.
Let's go.
Well said, young lady. Indeed, this court is in all defense counsel's conviction and eagerly awaits his next words. You what? Now don't be hasty, my lord.
If I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure that I know who has that disc at the moment. There's only one person it can be.
Counsel, of whom do you request the search now?
Oh god, this didn't help at all.
Nope. Oh well.
Well, okay, here. Do you see where Gregson was standing and who was next to him? The two people?
Yeah, Nash.
So I'm gonna narrow it down. It's one of those two.
Oh, so it is the Skulkins. It's in Ringo's box.
No, it's Nash, isn't it? Isn't Nash the one that's next to him?
Yes, Nash is next to him. I know it was a week ago, but when we were
Screw it, we got 4 tries.
Try
Search Waluigi.
I will refresh your memory. When we were pressing Graydon last week, there was a little incident with Gregson in the middle of the thing where I had to pursue Gregson. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Of my lord, Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Well, I never. Remember, viewers, that this is a Let's Play. It's been recorded every... Oh, they're yelling.
Me?
Oh, well then. Very well then.
Bailiff, and the real one this time, please, restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects.
Oh, we got him!
Please, my lord! Inspector? Scotland Yard has no objection to this search. Has to object to the search, actually.
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here.
God damn it.
This courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object.
Lord Van Zeeks.
I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions.
Your boss, Lord Dracula, of course.
Well then, Dracula and I are gonna have it out, aren't we?
Oh, shit.
Personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial.
It's the rebooted
Bailiff?
Castlevania timeline.
Carry out the search, and also figure out the Castlevania timeline while you're at it.
Now, hold on a moment. I don't know nothing. Nothing about no disc. Cut it out!
This is the bailiff, I guess.
Here, my lord, in the witness's pocket. I found this.
Lord, that's...
Another music box disc. I don't know nothing about it. Nothing. Get that right, bruv.
Ringo's just like, ah!
I don't know what the hell's going on. I thought we were skulking, but we were the ones who got skulked.
That is the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson? Not all the chips.
Order, order, order! Mr. Skulkin, what have you to say for yourself?
He was the true mastermind.
Gordon Bennett. I mean, just Gordon Flaming Bennett. I swear I didn't know nothing about that disc. Honest to God.
Counsel, would you please explain what exactly is going on here? The alleged deal that was struck between this witness and this detective, no?
Without question, my lord.
Then, for pity's sake, why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for information?
Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure. But at one particular point in this trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment.
I don't recall. What unusual behavior?
Man, the judge is just like me, for real.
It was, yes, during my cross-examination of Mr. Graydon. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
I admit nothing of the sort.
Oh, I forgot that.
You little toe
right.
rag!
I'm gonna go lineback on your ass.
While Mr. Graydon answered my questions, the inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by his coat and was shaking him violently.
Yeah, he didn't know. I can't talk.
It's okay,
it's okay, bro. Thought me noggin was gonna fall clean off, I did. Thanks, bro. Thanks. I was wishing I'd been born as me brother, I was.
Wait, what? I don't want to be in that situation either, bro.
No, because you see, you're down there.
Yeah,
You
you're
can't
not
really,
next to him. You're not next to
Oh,
Gregson.
all right, I see.
You're down there, so it would take more effort for him to like, grab you by the neck.
That makes sense. Okay,
makes,
but
makes
who's
it
the
easier
box
for me to
in
dodge.
Who's the box in this scenario?
That's a good question. I didn't think that
Not
far
a
ahead.
mystery to solve.
And what exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that?
Ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned and grabbed me, whistling, and then started shaking me. I need to calm down. I've been here too long.
okay, bro. It's okay.
I've been here too long.
Yeah. We've been here for 5 weeks.
Why the
I think longer than that, actually, but whatever.
Why the blazes did you mention the third gun when we got you down the station? That's what he said. That was my Scottish accent.
It's okay. Scottish accents are hard to do.
I'm rattled. I'm very rattled. Yo, look right down my ear hole, he did. My head's still throbbing now.
The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. But looking back now, it must have been then that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc.
Well, bless my wig. He hid it.
You.
I'm afraid I failed to comprehend the motive here. If the detective had acquired the disc he was after, why on earth would he proceed to hide it in another man's pockets?
Judge, come on.
This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence.
He would have had to admit to... It would appear, my lord, that the inspector was not at liberty to do that.
Why ever not?
As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions.
My orders were, we literally just heard this, recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry. And do it on the QT, strictly hush-hush. Hush-hush? A top-secret assignment, is it?
As far as we're aware, the information stolen comes from confidential government communications. It would seem that if that information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
I'm operating on direct orders from the ministry. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question.
That might as well be a yes.
So, realizing there was a chance that you may be searched here in court, you took steps to hide the disc you had acquired from the witness.
Does this mean?
He only pretended to attack Mr. Skokin in order to get close enough to him. To slip the second disc into his pocket.
So it was all a pretense. Well now, Inspector Gregson, and you, Mr. Graydon Egerton, whatever your name is,
Egerton?
Are you prepared to admit the accusation made against you of this alleged deal?
Admit to it. Yours truly. Please.
Mr. Graydon!
Clearly our eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination.
You've just dug yourself the biggest hole you're never getting out.
However, there's no proof that I passed that disc to the inspector.
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the peephole?
I'm under no obligation to explain.
What?
Yes, I lied in my testimony. That I admit, so sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder, leaking government secrets, striking a deal with the detective. All of it is this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of that is about.
You... what? Rubble?
Well, bro, this got even more crazy. What do you say?
Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit to making a deal with Mr. Graydon in order to acquire the disc?
Ladies and gents of the jury, as a Scotland Yard inspector, I will declare this and nothing more. Especially to you, stop eyeing that maid woman. That's very creepy.
No kink shaming.
I'm not...
I'm sorry, that's basically my reaction nowadays.
I wasn't trying to... Whatever. I'm acting on the best interest of the country. Whatever I've done, it's been in the name of justice. So, as member of the public of this fine country, I like to think that justice will be a guiding light when you're making your decisions. Also, I'm pretty sure that last man is not actually part of the British citizen. No. I am British, Western, European, Russian tourist citizen man.
Uh-huh.
I'm so sick of this, Sherry. Alright. This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary tumultuousness in the concluding of a trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put the matter to the jury for their final leanings.
Oh no, as a fellow servant of Queen and country, I must say I sympathize with the old inspector.
Yes, he's a dependable man, I'm quite sure. In service, one becomes a good judge of character.
That's not the... What?
Even crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all blurred to me.
Maybe you should stop crossing your eyes.
Make me.
Okay, I won't.
So, fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really.
So basically what all the jurors are saying is that it's for the greater good and
Yes!
Gina. Basically.
For the greater good, the greater good.
Great is a highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of item. Stop.
You make me want to go to jail. Stop.
No. Stop.
Detective have very much trust in eyes. More than this, I cannot say.
Oh, I don't believe it. Those 6 jurors are... They're going to believe Gregson. If they declare their decision now...
Is Jeannie going to be found guilty?
If I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then we're going to lose. Either some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Windybank or stole those government secrets. Or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness.
Well then, counsel. I think it's time I impose on the jury to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the courts.
If I let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings, Gina will be found guilty.
So there's no choice then, Reno. You have to throw some more evidence at them.
This
Okay.
is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon?
It's all come down to this like 17 times now. You've got to stop this. This is becoming a problem, Bruno.
It's the
I
fifth
think that
case, man.
speaks more of the system of the British government right now. That they've allowed this to continue like this.
Well, I mean, the finality is the jury at this point, so like our only option is do we present something to Graydon or present something to Gregson?
Well, what evidence do we have?
Can I move this? Okay, I can't move this.
God, we have so much evidence. I'd legitimately just...
I mean, you want to know something? The last case
What?
in the second Grace Attorney, there were 6 pages of evidence.
Yep, that sounds right.
This is nothing. All right, here, I'll give you a hint. What would make both of those people squeak?
If the government secrets got leaked.
Yeah, so how are we gonna leak it?
Well, we don't have the other disc though. Otherwise,
Yes,
I'd
we
say
do.
present
We
the
have-
music box.
No, we haven't. Remember, we found the second disc, so we don't have it in here, but we do have the second disc. It's being held right now. We have this disc.
Oh, so we
okay.
present the music box and say, hey, we got both discs now. Let's play it and listen in.
Yeah.
Okay, but who do we present that to?
Gregson.
Well, Gregson, because he's the one who's freaking out about the disc.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Graydon doesn't care. We can't convince him, but we can convince Gregson by not playing the literal government secrets.
Yeah, Inspector Greg. Now we're gonna threaten him. Inspector Gregson, there is one final piece of evidence I would like you to see.
Eh? What's that then?
If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, then you leave us no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly.
Well, go on.
This is my last chance. It looks like I'm going to have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get this detective to admit to the deal he clearly struck with Graydon. I'm going to present that music box, I believe.
Music boxes are the future. Take that, Stereoscop Man.
Is that Mr. McGilda's peculiar music box, Counsel?
Yes, with the disc already in place and ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we've just discovered set in place as well.
Goodness! This disc, Counsel? Or rather that disc, or this disc, or there's so many discs. No, wait! I can't let you do that!
Too bad! Why not?
Because, well, because it's got nothing to do with this case. That's why.
Not true, Inspector.
Eh?
The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of two distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. And now we have a chance to confirm that theory.
Light sunshine! We're talking about state secrets here!
Well then, admit to what you did.
If you go in the whole courtroom of the covenant nation like that, it's treason!
Then do you admit the charge that in order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealings with the witness?
You're mad! If you let that secret information out to the public domain, you're making it a terrible experiment, you idiot!
Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. Then you continued to lie to the court, and only because, by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine.
Don't you dare!
I dare. I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of. Damn, Ranosuke, you go.
Well, it's time for my favorite show.
My lord, if you please, the court must hear the sounds made by that music box.
But Zeeks, for Pete's sake, stop it!
No, I would never.
He's having a good time, man.
Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet.
Yeah, let's go.
In this courtroom, my duty is to the law. So let me propose a toast. To uncovering the truth. By fair means or foul.
No! Very well. The defense stands here, and that of the prosecution has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen to this music box set in operation once more.
Oh, so that's how it's supposed to be used.
This time, with the second disc in place, and both discs playing simultaneously.
I think we might want to save that for the next video.
I kind of dig that that's how it's supposed to be used.
Isn't it great?
It looks
Yeah.
like a radio.
Don't tab out this time, Taisa.
I'll try not to. All right. Well, we will listen to these governmental secrets in the next video, unless Gregson peeks or squeaks or something.
I'd rather you didn't do that.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess I have no say because the video's ending. Damn it.